Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of This My Bourbon Podcast. I'm your host, Perry. With me is my very overly emotional co-host, Eric.
I ain't never met a man that didn't deserve it.
Hey, does that say more about you or more about them?
I've been spending most of my life living in a mutant paradise.
R.I.P. Coolio.
Yeah, R.I.P.
We haven't talked about that. That's been
Tell me why, oh why, do you ruin the whiskey?
Are we just going to get all of our...
I mean, this is the emotional episode.
This is the emotional episode. Hey, look, I am really excited for you all to listen to this episode, to listen to the interview that we have coming up as well with Rob Dietrich.
What are you talking about? We haven't done the interview yet.
I'm excited to experience doing this interview with you all in real time.
Are you regretting putting me on the side with you? Like you could
maybe a little bit.
I feel like we're going to recreate the Homer and the Bart where you just start choking me at some point.
Now, Eric and I are on the same side of the studio table now.
If you're listening, you want to see that, go to youtube.com.
For now.
Oh, shit. Okay, I'll be good.
Yeah, you will.
You turn the heater down a little bit.
I had to turn the heater down a little bit. It was hot in here. Okay. How are you, I guess? Is that how we start these episodes?
I've literally been here for like 2 hours.
Oh my gosh. You're ruining the
I mean, I
illusion.
just got here. I feel good.
This is like the magician who comes out and
just ruined everything.
He goes, "Look, I got 3 rabbits, okay? Here's all the cards that are up my... I gotta... Look,
this girl can really like bend her legs like into this side of the box.
It's a fake leg. It's a fake legs that are on the other side. And
yeah, so let's just do this.
Look, here's a fake hat. I put it on the table, hole opens in the bottom.
Abracadabra, my... And just pull it out.
Anyway, this is your first time here. I'm sorry.
What?
No, if it's the first time for you, if it's your first time here, thank you so much for being here. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. Like the video on YouTube. Comment. Hit the bell notification. All that good stuff.
Give me a glass while you're talking.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna fly and blind you.
Oh, all right. Then we got a early review that we're gonna do too. We'll get to that in just a second. But follow us on social media as well, at My Bourbon Pod or at Whiskey Mutant. You can also support the show at patreon.com/My Bourbon Podcast for as little as $8 a month, for as little as $5 a month to get bonus content. But most importantly right now, we are currently in the middle of I'm looking at the wrong camera. This episode's a mess. We are currently in the middle of a fundraiser for our friends over at splash.org. They provide clean drinking water and good hygiene opportunities for underprivileged folks across the globe. They are absolutely wonderful. They do some...
Every orphanage in China, you said?
Every orphanage in China, they provided clean drinking water to. So, yeah. We're running that fundraiser through the first couple of weeks of December because we got a little bit of a late start on it in November. And big announcement, I guess. On the second Saturday in December, I can't remember exactly what that is. I think that might be the 10th. Yes, it is the 10th. We are going to be doing a big live stream as a final push to raise money for Splash. We're going to have some special guests stopping in as well. Some folks who have donated and want to, be a part of that and whatnot. But we're also going to be doing some giveaways as well during that live stream. So more details on that to come over the next week or so. But if you would like to be a part of the giveaways that are going to take place that day, head to splash.org/TIMBIP, TIMBP, to donate. It's going to come up with a Give Forms site page thing. that you can donate through. That is our unique donation page. So that is the best way for you to donate to them, just so we can also keep track of everything throughout the giving process. So please, please, please donate, and we appreciate the heck out of you all.
Yeah, appreciate it.
So too. So Flying Blind is how we're kicking off this week's episode.
Flying blind.
Eric's got a blind sample for me.
I do. Just for you. What you thinking?
I feel like I know what that is.
Do you?
Or maybe I don't.
Do you?
I don't know. Do I?
Probably.
Okay.
I think you can guess this. I got faith in you. We're going to continue our Flying Blind training for Perry. So, assuming Matt Madness goes for the third year. So, Perry, where do you think this is from? What state?
I want to say Kentucky. That's my initial.
I would want you to say Kentucky.
Okay, good.
Yes, Kentucky.
What is this note that I keep getting?
Tell us about it.
It's fruity. It's like a almost like a cranberry sauce.
Okay. Now you're picking up the theme here. Picking up the theme.
Is this a wild turkey product?
It is.
You definitely underhanded that one over to me.
I had to.
I don't know what
But what do you think the proof on this is?
I'm going to say 112.8 proof.
Close. You would have been within that
Yeah.
range.
Okay.
It's 110.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if it was an old rare breed or not, but it's a turkey or a Russell's pick.
Yes. What warehouse is this from?
I don't think it's Camp Nelson. I would say Rick House K.
No. What's my favorite Rick House?
K is?
No, what's my favorite Rick House?
Oh.
You know this.
A?
No. One they use for Russell's 13.
Oh.
The first Russell's 13.
Camp Nelson C?
No.
Camp Nelson A?
No.
I don't remember, dude. I'm
G.
sorry. G is really your favorite.
Yes, I've said it before.
I'm sorry. I'm bad at remembering things like that.
I'm just playing. This is a Russell's, but this reminds me of Thanksgiving dinner.
Oh, it totally does. No, it is very cranberry.
And when this comes out, this is the day before Thanksgiving, right?
It is, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
So-
forgot to say Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy
everybody.
Thanksgiving to everybody. No, but this was I wanted to do a turkey pick because obviously Thanksgiving. Turkey time. But I specifically have this, and I've had this for a while, and it reminds me of Thanksgiving. It's like you said, cranberry, but it's kind of savory. So it's kind of like a turkey dinner.
Yeah.
This was a pick from Rickhouse G. This is an old one.
What the heck?
Yeah. Look at the lid. Look at the cork.
The wood of the cork is not even the same color as what it is now.
I got this in Tennessee one year when Addison was doing a softball tournament.
Universal Wine and Spirits.
Yeah.
I love that. Sweet as sody pop.
Yeah. Rickhouse G. Old label.
Gee, I sure do like this.
I would not resist this.
I would not be able to resist this sample. Man, this is really good.
Yeah. I've had that for several years now.
I'm impressed.
Yeah.
I'm impressed that there is any left for a bottle that's good.
It's
that
almost
is
done.
that good.
This
and
may
that
wind up on pours from the floor eventually.
Yeah.
We're about done with it. So I just love I like the new labels a lot, but I don't know. There's something about this label that I don't know. It's nostalgic or something. You think so? Do you like the new one or the old one?
I think I prefer the new one a little bit, but the old one is so iconic.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
I dig it. I don't have any problem with the old label.
There you go.
Speaking of Turkey Day, be on the lookout for our. We got a little cross collaboration. I looked at the wrong camera again. We got a little cross collaboration between the two of us on social media for Turkey Day that you are not going to want to miss.
Yeah,
it's special. It's gonna be really fun.
Oh, that's so good.
It's really, really, really good. You know what else is really good is finding out what the heck you've been drinking recently.
Me?
You. And while you do that, might I add, I think it's time for us to pour up the first of our Goose Island Bourbon County Stout bottles that we were sent as media samples.
Yeah, look at that. That's a special sticker.
I'm turning it the wrong way. For media tasting only. This is the Sir Isaac's Stout, which I need to still look up the
Sir Isaac.
the ABV on. But over the next 3 weeks, we're going to be reviewing the 3 bottles that we were able to procure from the media team over at Goose Island, especially because, I mean, these are coming out right now. And if you can find any of the allocated releases, we want to make sure that you know about them.
And I, for full transparency, am not a big stout drinker. So if you are not yourself, you may find my review more towards you. And then if you are a stout drinker and you're well versed in that, then you'll find out what Perry says, because he is a stout man.
It's so aromatic.
He's a stouty boy.
I am a stout boy.
He's a stout boy. That's so dark.
What have you been drinking recently?
Rabbit Hole.
Really?
Well, I went to WWE Raw.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I did. Took the boys to Raw, thanks to my buddy, friend of the show, Baron Corbin, for getting me some tickets there.
Did he really?
Yeah.
That is so cool, man.
Yeah, dude. Those seats are on the opposite side of the camera, and so they're like front row.
Well, you told me to tell Papa Ritter that you were going to be going.
Yeah.
You didn't tell me anything about, like, what you were going to be wearing or what to look for.
I didn't know. I figured he would be able to point me out.
Well, yeah, he was able to because you had 2 championship belts over your shoulders, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew he would be able to find me.
He was like hat backwards, championship belts on each shoulder.
Kids in front of me. Like,
yeah. He knew.
No, but like, it was awesome. Like, he knew. But yeah,
Papa Ritter always knows.
He always knows. He always knows. I just get a text from him during that. He goes, "Dude!" I was like, "What?" He's like, "I saw you." I was like, "Sweet." Oh, it was a good show. But I had I was at the Yum Center. I was in Louisville, and they have a whole rabbit hole bar.
That's very cool.
Yeah. So I had a couple of neat pours of rabbit hole, and I'm going to say it's pretty good. But the main regular rabbit hole bourbon in a Coke Zero is fucking amazing.
Really?
Yeah. Because I had a neat pour there. They were nice enough to let me because they were like, "You're at a wrestling event and you're asking for neat?" And I was like, "Yeah, I like bourbon." They're like, people were coming up to them and being like, "You got any vodka?" and stuff like that. And they're like, "Oh." But they're like, "Yeah, try this." And I was like,
bourbon place.
Yeah. They gave me pretty much 3 samples. And I was like, "These are all good." And I was like, "But I got to go back down for the rest of the show and with my kids. So I need something that I can sip on for a while." And they're like, "Okay." So I was like, "Give me that." I can't remember what is it like a maroon label or a blue one? I can't remember.
I am so sorry, rabbit hole folks. No. I cannot remember.
Sorry, me too.
Off the top of my head.
There. But rabbit hole, like their normal on the shelf offering in a Coke Zero, is one of the best Coke Zero and Burbs I've had.
Nice.
Like, it makes me want to have that just for that purpose.
Wow. You should then.
Yeah.
Why not?
Why not?
Why not have it around?
No, it was good. So that's, I've had to work the last couple of nights, so that's probably the most unique thing I've had. Like, I've not had a lot of Rabbit Hole. I know we've had some stuff here, but yeah, it was cool, man. Like, I didn't know. I think that may be the first time I've been to the Yum Center.
I've been there for a couple of shows, concerts. Not really shows.
I call them shows.
See, I feel like
I will call every, like, if you're the biggest band ever, I will still say I'm going to the Backstreet Boys show, whatever.
Well, funny enough, I did see the Backstreet Boys there.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, saw him with Lucy, and then I saw John Mayer there too. It's different, dude.
It smells so dark.
It's different. Well, last night on my stream, if you haven't seen it, I did a kind of review comparison between the RD1 101 proof small batch, which is finished in French oak. I tried out the Barrel Craft Spirits Bourbon Gray Label as well, and then also had some of the Old Fitz 19 year.
Humble brag. Little humble brag.
You can have some. It's right there.
I know. I'm just saying, like, how many other people get Old Fitz 19? You, baby.
It was a media sample.
I know, but you gotta like represent.
No, we got it.
I know, but you had it last night.
Yeah,
you should be like
fair enough.
Flexing on them. Right
No,
now.
I felt good about it. Don't get me wrong.
There's people setting up their tents right now for this, and they don't even know if it's coming out.
My poor dad was like, "Hey, I really want to get a bottle of that."
I was like, "Go set up a tent right now at the distillery."
I should have told him. I mean, he's almost retired.
Let me just smell it, because
pour some.
I will, but I've got this dark magic here in front of me.
Dark magic.
Oh my god,
that was my nickname in high school.
Yeah, because your nipples. It smells really good so far.
What do you think about the Sir Isaac Stout?
Like, I could drink this but okay, how long? Let me ask you this: how long do you sip on a stout? It's not a beer that you just take down and be like, "Give me another glass."
I usually will. I'll pour about half of what's in the bottle.
It has marshmallows on the finish.
I haven't even tried it yet.
Is it okay to say finish on a beer?
Yeah, of course it is.
Okay.
Well, I mean, truly, it's not even just alcohol. It's anything.
Yeah.
I mean, there is a tasting process behind it.
A beer tasting etiquette.
I don't think it's too dissimilar from bourbon tasting.
It reminds me of a s'more.
I haven't even gotten to, again, taste it yet.
It reminds me of a s'more.
Bourbon County brand Sir Isaac Stout. Stout aged in bourbon barrels with figs, graham crackers, and natural flavors. It is 13...
Graham crackers?
Graham crackers. 13.9% ABV.
Damn.
So, what, 27.8%? Or, excuse me, 27.8 proof.
Damn.
That's pretty high for a beer. I looked at the wrong camera.
It's okay.
I'm still getting used to this new setup.
It tastes like a freaking s'more.
Oh.
It's so dark.
What I love about the Bourbon County Stouts from Goose Island is that they are not the thickest of stouts.
No.
I mean, they are infinitely drinkable. Oh, the graham cracker.
It looks thick, but
you can't see through it.
But when you drink it, like, it really is like a little thin. Like, that's good to me, because I'm like, oh boy, I'm getting intimidated right now looking at this. That's good.
Oh my gosh.
That's like a s'more. Like, there's marshmallow and graham cracker in there. Cocoa. Yeah, I like that a lot.
There's a syrupy quality to, I mean, I know that this is probably just the fact that it's, a stout, but there's like a syrupiness in there too, like a sweet syrup that you would put over ice cream.
Yeah, I can see that.
Man, doing alcoholic root beer float with one of these.
Now that's where
some
I
ice
get
cream
down with some stouts.
Some Rocky Road.
Oh, yeah. Take some Hershey chocolate bars and like kind of crunch them up and put them over top of it.
Do you know why they call it a root beer float?
Why they call it that? Why?
Because the ice cream floats to the top. Duh. Idiot. Jeez.
I thought there was a joke in there. I was playing up to it. I thought there was going to be something more to it. You know why it's bourbon? Why? Because it's 51% corn.
I saw a tweet last night, which I don't know. Maybe by the time this episode comes out, RIP Twitter. But I think it was called like the Internet Hall of Fame, like the account. And the initial message was, "I have a knock knock joke, but somebody has to start it." And the other person replied and said, "Knock knock." First person goes, "Who's there?" And they go, "I don't know, idiot. It's your joke. Why would you say that?" And it's just, that was like the whole caption, the whole screen cap.
I love the concept of the Internet Hall of Fame.
It's good stuff.
I feel like the Boom Goes the Dynamite guy would be
early. Who, Cleveland?
No, the Boom Goes the Dynamite. The sportscaster, the guy who gets really nervous on there and he can't do
Oh, right.
He's like, and Boom Goes the Dynamite.
Yeah. You're right.
Makes more sense. The one where they do the leprechaun or whatever.
Might have been a crackhead.
Yeah, that's definitely.
Here's an artist's rendering of the creature.
And little Bub and the whistles. And the whistles go whoop whoop. That's definitely the Internet.
Don't you think that like the most recent addition to that would be like, as far as like widely regarded goes, it's the Corn Kid?
Oh yeah, definitely. He's new age Hall of Fame. For real. And Elmo on fire.
Maybe my favorite GIF of all time.
Yeah. That's really good though.
Somebody edit me as the Elmo
right now. You're the editor. You do it.
I'm talking about somebody else.
Oh. Are we rating this?
Yeah, sure.
Man, this is good. Do we have the price on this bottle? I know these are all like individually priced, right?
Mm-hmm. I'm going to locate the price.
$15 maybe. Man, that's graham crackers. Graham crackers and marshmallow, freaking s'more all day long.
I cannot find a price.
I mean, they're anywhere from what, like $15 to like $30 a
yeah,
bottle
something like that. Yeah. We'll say that just so we can be safe, we will say $15.
Okay.
A bottle. Nose? It's sweet, man.
Yeah, it's very sweet. It's marshmallowy
sweet stout
to me. It smells good.
There is an acidity too that I get with a lot of stouts, especially ones from Goose Island. That is present on this as well. I'm not getting a whole lot of the bourbon influence though.
No, I don't get any bourbon on this.
Yeah. So might be the only little downfall of it. I'm going to give it a 3.
Okay.
On the nose.
2.5.
Okay. The palate is incredible.
Oh, I like that a lot.
Yeah.
I give it a 4.
4 as well.
Yeah. I keep track of all this.
The finishes. Oh, buddy.
I do get some chocolate on the finish. I'll say a 3. I think that front end is my favorite part. Finish is just chocolate. So yeah, I'll say a 3.
$2.5.
Okay. So are we the same right now? No,
just about, yeah, I think.
Price
at $15. I mean, that's a lot for a beer, but the gimmick kind of behind these is that you can hold on to them for a while.
Yeah, it literally says on here, develops in the bottle up to 2 years.
Yeah. It's a long time.
Yeah, and plus, like,
it's a good value.
You can drink this for, like, I would drink this all day.
Oh,
all
for
day
sure.
is like, I could pour it up and then sip on it throughout the day.
And that's what I was saying earlier. I think that I wasn't able to finish that thought, but I will usually pour, like, half of the bottle into a snifter, and then I will put the rest of it into the fridge. Take a lot of time with it. Yeah. I mean, usually at the very least, like an hour and a half drinking on it, and then go back and grab the rest of it. So, I mean, even in a beer drinker's perspective, there is a bit of a longevity to it.
Yeah.
And so 3.5.
3.5, me too.
Hey.
I got 13.
I think that's the same score I had, too.
I think if you like stouts, you're probably going to love this. And
it's a good one, man.
If you haven't had many and you're kind of dipping your toes in it, like, I think this is a good one, too, because it's not thick and it's got a lot of, like, freaking s'more characteristics.
Could you imagine if we reviewed the other two that we have on top of this?
No, I couldn't.
I'd be dead.
I couldn't.
You would have to roll me down the hill.
No, I couldn't do it.
And put my bed at the bottom of the hill.
I think I need
so that I could just roll right into it.
I think I need like a week in between of stout.
Yeah.
I'm fair. Like a one a week stout guy.
I don't even know if I'm a one a week.
I mean, right now.
Yeah.
Like for this purpose.
Yeah. No,
you're like one a month?
A
monthly week stouter?
Maybe.
It's that time of the month. Perry's got a stout. It's that time of the month.
Stout time.
Yeah. Leave him alone for a week.
Gear up, everybody. It's stout time.
Yeah, he's getting ready to hit a stout.
No, I mean, I like I said, I drink them more often than you do.
Yeah, you do.
But
that's good, though.
They're good, man.
Yeah. I could drink on that. I could pour that like Christmas morning and like just like, put it back in the fridge, pour a little bit more, and just sip on that all throughout the day. So
Christmas morning actually is a really good time for a stout.
Yeah.
Christmas Day in general. Yeah. Great time for stouts.
I like some eggnog too. Yeah.
Lucy's grandma makes this. It's like a custard drink.
Uh-huh.
I might have talked about this on the podcast before. She calls it Christmas punch.
Ooh, I like that.
And it's it's almost like, as a kid, what you want eggnog to taste like.
Yeah.
Like super sweet and super custardy and everything. But not too terribly long ago, I had it with bourbon for the first time. And it, like, that scene in Ratatouille where the food critic, like, he takes the bite
and he
of the
just
Ratatouille and it like shoots into his eyes, goes back in time and everything. Like that, it's that kind of feel.
I make a gingerbread eggnog with Maker's 46.
I would love to try that.
Yeah, every year I do.
I think you talked about it last year too.
Yeah, I'll talk about it again, but when it gets closer, I'll make.
I would absolutely
Merry Christmas.
Love to try that.
It's your Christmas present. Your
Christmas present's on the way.
Yours is still being picked out because I'm really thinking hard about it.
I thought I knew exactly what yours was going to be as soon as it hit me.
For real?
Yeah.
Damn. No, I'm going to stick with mine. I was like, I need to rethink this, but no, I know.
No, I did.
I've been figuring this out, and I've been consulting people about it.
Wow.
Yeah.
We have last year's Christmas present that you gave to me was like top 10 Christmas presents of all time. And I was thinking about it too, because the energy of it is so big.
Real big.
But the actual item itself is so small.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense.
And that killed me. that absolutely just, I had a full, like, just crying, laughing breakdown over it.
Oh.
And now we're super happy to be joined by longtime friend of the show. We've had him on before, back in Bourbon and Beyond in 2019. I say we, you weren't even there for it.
I wasn't there.
Yeah, that's all.
I'm here now. That's all that matters.
Rob Dietrich, the master distiller or master blender, whatever you want to call him, of Blackened whiskey. Rob, it is so good to see you and chat with you, man.
Perry, it's good to be here again. Good to see you again.
Yeah, it's been a minute. We've all gone through hell over the past couple of years and major life changes and everything. But I think it's kind of nice to be able to reconnect. And I just want to say, how have you held up over the past couple of years? Are you what's your kind of mind state been since everything, the world completely changed?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like everybody obviously had some significant changes in their life during that time. For me, it was I took the COVID time to be able to rebuild my lab, which is behind me right now, and really kind of focus on really dialing deep on some of that. Had some projects that I did with some friends, So yeah, I think honestly, it was. I tried to make the best of it.
Was it a time where you, and I mean, of course you did say that you took that time to rebuild your lab, but creatively, were you kind of in a different headspace than you had been before, just because you kind of had maybe a little bit more of freedom to try new things out?
Yeah. I mean, there was this momentum with our brand. We were firing at all cylinders, and I think just like anybody, we had a plan in motion. We were really focusing on what we call on premise, which is restaurants and bars, and getting our brand out there. And restaurants and bars closed down, so we focused on and that's the interesting thing about COVID. People didn't stop drinking; they just stopped where they were drinking.
Right.
So for us, it was like. For me, I had a lot more time. That's why I kind of redesigned my lab so I could really kind of fine tune my process on how I can create different blends and different whiskeys. I've got a little 20 liter copper still over here that I can play around with different.
That's cool.
Different recipes and just mess around with different things. So I feel like we just shifted our focus and it just kind of really created even a longer arm of Blackened whiskey. It really was pretty exciting just to take that space and do something with it.
Yeah. And it, I think that's evident, especially when you consider just the products that Blackened have put out over the past couple of years. We're going to get to a little bit later in this episode reviewing the Wes Henderson collab, which sidebar for that. I found it so infinitely hilarious that the first thing Wes did after he retired as a hobby was to do the thing that he retired from.
Yeah, but you never get it out of your system. You never get it out of your blood. Like he was probably retiring. He was probably retiring from structure.
Sure.
The way I look at it is, now you have the freedom to just, go and play and have some fun. All the things you've been, wanting to do. And, when we approached Wes about that, it was, he was really excited about it. It was something that he was like, yeah, that's perfect. I want to play it around a little bit, have some fun.
So you all were the ones who approached him first?
Yeah.
What was that process like? Like what was your all's kind of goal with partnering with somebody like Wes?
Well, this was kind of honestly, this goes all the way back to the founders of Blackened whiskey is Metallica, and Metallica is all about collaboration with other artists. They obviously, they're very focused on the music that they make, but then they collaborate with other artists and create some amazing music. So was really inspired by that, was to, for me, I feel like I'm a whiskey artist in that sense. I like to create and make unusual things. And so we started this a limited edition Masters of Whiskey series, where we started with Willett Distillery, Drew Colesveen at Willett. He was a good friend. We did a collaboration with Drew and Willett, and that was our first limited release of the Masters of Whiskey, where I'm collaborating with other master distillers to create cool and unusual expressions. And the Wes Henderson was just really, that was the next series. I mean, Wes was a great friend of Dave Pickerel. It just made a lot of sense to keep embracing our whiskey family in our whiskey community, and doing these fun collaborations. We're always so focused on our steady, everyday whiskey that we're making. He's making Angel's Envy. Everyone, they're focused on their production. To be able to just step outside of that for a minute and have a moment to just create something unusual and fun outside of the normal scope of things. I think most distillers are kind of they're embracing it, because it's an exciting project to be able to do. So Wes was so much fun to work with. He's Kentucky bourbon royalty, Kentucky whiskey royalty, and such a cool, down to earth, humble guy. And to be able to work with him on this project was just a lot of fun.
I want to talk about that collaboration, aspect of things too, because when we think about Blackened, we think about this process that the whiskey goes through, and it has music pumped at it, right? And there's not an insignificant part of my brain that hears something like that, and talking about the collaboration that Metallica looks for, that we look for in the whiskey industry. But then I think that it's like a literal collaboration between the whiskey itself and the music itself. And so it is on such a deep level of connectivity with the things that these two parties produce, and then it gets married together in such a bizarrely cool, but out of the scope of like what a lot of people would anticipate from a whiskey brand, right? And so it's it's like very much just ingrained in the DNA.
And that was that was the whole idea. When we're still developing the black noise sonic enhancement process. This is an innovation. This is an industry that is steeped in tradition. This is whiskey making. Goes back hundreds of years. We're doing something that's definitively different in the sense of we put some science behind this. The idea, the concept, I think was easy to come up with in the sense of, well, you have the loudest, heaviest metal band in the world, and you have one of the best whiskeys in the world, and you're combining the talents of both of those into one liquid package, so to speak, and you're doing that with the sonic enhancement. If you think about regular aging, when you char the inside of a barrel, that creates a caramelized band of sugar from the wood. And so when the spirit is interacting with the wood in the heat of the day, the pores are open, that spirit is moving into the barrel, picking up all those flavors, all those the color of the wood, and then when it's cold at night, it expresses back into the belly of the barrel. Now, if you're applying the black noise sonic enhancement process, you're looking for 9 different flavor markers from the oak aroma panel. Every one of those flavor profiles are coming from the wood itself. So what we did was we had a barrel that was our control barrel, basically. We did not apply sonic enhancement to. We had that in a separate room. We had 2 barrels that were in a different room that we were not applying. I'm sorry, backwards. 2 barrels that we were applying sonic enhancement to. 1 barrel that we were not applying sonic enhancement to. And we're taking samples from those over a period of 60 days. And you're able to identify the elevation of those profile markers when we sent all these samples off to the lab, and we were able to identify exactly what was going on inside the barrel by applying the sonic enhancement. Sonic enhancement, we're playing low frequency music. We worked with Meyer Sound, who creates that wall of sound for Metallica. They created a proprietary device that we use that creates this vibration. You know, you've all been to a concert where you're walking around, there's vibration in your chest, that movement. We're doing that inside the barrel. You know, that motion is happening inside the barrel. You think about, even if you look at the label of a Blackened whiskey bottle and you see that sound wave on the front, that is a physical representation of the movement of sound. That's what we're doing inside the barrel. Those peaks and valleys. Yeah. That's motion inside the barrel. And it's intriguing. I feel like we're just scratching the surface on what sound can do. Not only just in whiskey production. I've seen people doing this with cheese. There was a cheese maker, and
I wasn't expecting that to be the.
The guy did, but they play different music. Obviously, we play Metallica music and the playlist to our music or to our whiskey, and to the barrels within the barrels to create that motion. But this guy was doing it with cheese and in different chambers, and it makes sense. Like it's not just it's starting. I really feel like we're scratching the surface on something really huge here.
What if they took a barrel and it was like a single barrel and they just put it on stage with Metallica for an entire tour?
We've talked about that. I mean, that concept is we talked about it, and initially the biggest issue with that is the legality issue of it, because you can't, everything, you think about bottled and bond and warehousing and
sure
insurance and licensing and the regulations of taking a unregistered barrel of whiskey on tour. Because we talked about this. We talked about like lining a whole backstage. The whole stage with barrels and a wall of barrels just being pummeled by Metallica music on tour. It's awesome in concept. Legally, almost impossible. Like you couldn't do it internationally for sure, and nationally it would. There's just so many regulations, unfortunately, and that kind of sucks because it's such a cool opportunity to do something really unique and unusual, but we're so highly regulated in this industry that we unfortunately can't do something like that.
You got to start your own law, the Bottled and Banned Act of 2023.
Exactly, man.
Let's just do it.
Yes.
Just change the rule. Let's just make our own rules.
Better to ask forgiveness than permission, I guess. But maybe not so much with whiskey and alcohol. I feel like we need to, kind of. Anyway, this does bring up a good point too. That I'm curious just what the relationship with this sounds like I'm alluding to some like grander issue or something. That's not the case. It's just I'm curious what the relationship with the whiskey and Metallica is at this stage in the game, because I mean it's been a few years since it's been on the market. People are very familiar with this whiskey at this point too. But as far as like some of the decision making that goes into it, like James doesn't drink, so that's he's potentially removed from that part of the conversation. So what does that look like between the band and you all in the whiskey making process now?
Yeah, I think most importantly, when they came up with the idea to create a whiskey, they understood that just going to a large whiskey distillery and saying, hey, let's make a Metallica line and slap Metallica all over it was not authentic. Right. They everything that they do is about authenticity, 100% connected to whatever they do. And, that's why they initially reached out to Dave Pickerel to create the whiskey. They wanted someone who was just as skilled at what they do in making music. They wanted someone who's just as skilled at making whiskey. And that's, they initially went to Dave, and then shortly thereafter myself. And it was about the authenticity of making a whiskey that stands on its own, that stands shoulder to shoulder with every whiskey out there, and stands on its own accord. And that was really, so I think, what's been great about working with Metallica on this is that they approach everything as an art form. They're artists first and foremost. And so they allow me to have the freedom to be able to create new expressions, to be able to come up with these ideas, like the Masters of Whiskey series. This is our the Blackened whiskey team. We all work hard together to create these fun expressions. And it is an evolving art form. So the band is very much involved in one, allowing us to have the freedom, but also giving us that vehicle to be able to release these expressions with, and to really get the whiskey out there to a larger audience. And I think working with them, I just did a bottle signing with Rob Trujillo, the bass player, last weekend in Houston. Yeah. And it was so much fun, doing that kind of stuff, with Rob, because he's such a passionate guy, and he was literally out there because his son's band OTTO was playing in Houston, and so we're like, well, let's just do a bottle signing while you're out there. And he's like, yeah, of course, let's do it. So they're very much involved. They really dive deep. A week before that, I did a meet and greet and whiskey education with Lars and Rob in Florida, in Hollywood, Florida. The band had played out there, so we did this little whiskey, 150 people. So they're very passionate about it. They always want to learn. They're always asking me questions, because they're like, we don't know how to make whiskey, like what. So I'm always ask questions from the band, and so it's a fun relationship. I have a really good time working with them. They're all down to earth. James lives an hour and a half away from me here in Colorado. So I'm up there, fairly frequently, smoking cigars with them. I don't drink with James. He has a solid appreciation and understanding of the artistry and the craft of making whiskey. But I'm also respectful of his space and his beliefs, and he's respectful of mine. And I think that's the beautiful balance right there, is that, there's no, you can't do this or you can't do that. Just like we're just respecting our beliefs and boundaries.
I feel like you've got, I was just thinking of this, you've got so much pressure on you. You've got the freedom to make a whiskey for if not the biggest metal band ever. And then you've got whiskey fans who can sometimes be assholes. Yeah. And then you got metal fans who they will let you know too. I'm kind of the same, because I love metal. I've done, and I love whiskey. And it's like, and you're right here in the middle of both of these, these fandoms. And it's like, you've got to make a whiskey that just it's just going to blow both of these people away.
Man, I've never thought about that. I mean,
I got anxiety just like thinking about
it. It's a weird place to be. My background, I was the master distiller for Stranahan's Colorado whiskey. That's where I cut my teeth. I learned. My mentor was Jess Graber, who I helped. I worked with him to create Tin Cup whiskey as well. So my roots are definitively in making whiskey. And then also, my background before that was in the music industry. So I spent 10 years in music production, touring with bands, event management, that sort of thing. And the pressure is real when it comes to, you've got the whiskey community who is very critical about how their whiskey is made, who makes it, specifically, if it's a celebrity whiskey, you're going to someone immediately, you get the eye roll, like, oh, celebrity whiskey.
Yeah.
And what they don't understand, it's real whiskey makers making the whiskey. That's the difference. I feel like the difference in most celebrity whiskeys or celebrity brands, you're not seeing the maker. You're seeing the celebrity. And in this situation, they went with the maker first, originally Dave Pickerel, and now myself and the Blackened whiskey team. So we are definitively about the whiskey. That's where our heart is from. So there is those the stigma that we overcome, because all you have to do is taste the whiskey. The whiskey will speak for itself, and that's the way I approach it is like I'm here to make great whiskey, to make phenomenal whiskey. I just want the whiskey to speak for itself.
Yeah.
And that's, a lot of times I think, when we've done blind whiskey tastings and people didn't know that it was a celebrity whiskey, I think they're always amazed because people tend to have a stigma about that. And we're trying to break that wall down. We're breaking that stigma down and breaking it back into a level playing ground where, this is a whiskey to be contended with, a whiskey to enjoy. And we enjoy the process.
And I think there's a big difference too between celebrities who create their own brands, start their own brand of alcohol, and celebrities who just go in and purchase a brand or,
right.
Buy so much stock in it or what have you. And it just shows to me more of the honesty and the dedication to actually the craft of it. And I think that, when you take a musician who is very honest and very just open, vulnerable to, because they're putting this craft on display for people. There just seems to be more of an inclination, at least for myself, to want to get invested in it and want to find ways to appreciate it more than just like George Clooney buying a tequila brand.
Yeah. And I think that's what stands, where Blackened stands apart. I think this is about the passion and the industry. This is also why we're embracing our in my community where, it's a kind of a very small community when you think about it, as far as like head distillers, master distillers, whiskey creators. Even though there's so many brands out there, we're a small community of whiskey makers, and embracing that community is really been one of our personally one of my goals, and also one of the goals of Blackened American Whiskey is, embracing that community, doing these collaborations, and making fun whiskey, doing these projects, and understanding that, we don't have to be held to, certain, guidelines in the whiskey world in America, which is great. It's with the craft distilling boom. There's so many weird whiskeys out there, and they're actually creating new categories for some of these, like a hopped whiskey, which, I'm not a big fan of. I don't really like IPAs or hops anyway, but, there's always something out there that can be created that's different. And that's what we're doing with Blackened. And I think, again, coming back to our community, we're embracing that community and creating new and fun things.
Well, speaking of new and fun things, there is the Wes Henderson collaboration of it all. And we did kind of gloss over a little bit of the Willet discussion. Do you want to take a step back and talk about that for a second? And
I just want to know, did Drew take you like on like the secret, like behind, like the Willet barrels that like you're not even like people don't even know are back there? You don't have to say anything, but I know there's some barrels there in Willet that did you get to drill into anything and just like something special that you just...
So I was picked up at the airport and they put a hood over my head. And
I thought so. That's what I've heard. That's what I've heard.
And, it could have been 1 hour, it could have been 2 hours, who knows? And then, ended up in some secret underground, rick house.
Jim Rutledge was there, and it was Steve Nally showed up, and
and the ghosts of whiskey makers past. We had sitting at the head of the table. The secret whiskey cabal.
Basil Hayden's been kept alive for years, and he showed up.
It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing.
It's crazy, man.
Walt Disney was there.
Now we're talking.
No, I got to tell you, man, I was like a kid in a candy shop when Drew took me on the tour of when we first started talking about the collaboration together. He said, well, what do you want to use? And I was like, what do you mean, what do you want to use? He's like, well, which whiskey? And I was like, like that, like literally, it's like opening the doors to the candy store and like, okay, go ahead, just go, rummage around and find. And so we we went through the rick house and he's popping bungs and we're pulling samples out, and I'm in heaven, like absolute heaven, tasting all these great whiskeys. And we created this during the beginning of COVID. This was the idea. We'd already had the idea, and then COVID happened, and so everything was the world just didn't know what to do. We didn't, nobody knew what to do about it, obviously. So I was out there, I flew out to Kentucky, I think it was March of 2020, and I was got to peruse the barrel houses. We tasted a bunch of whiskey. The Colesbeans have a house in Bardstown there that it's a 300-year-old house. It's an old mansion, and and I was given directions like, okay, just show up to this place. You can stay at this place, and we're going to do the whiskey tasting there. So I got there. I landed in Louisville. It's an hour drive to Bardstown, and it was in a thunderstorm. I mean, just like a cracking thunderstorm, lightning, the whole thing, just huge rain. I'm driving, and it just feels like I know what you did last summer type of kind of scenario. And I pull up to this mansion, and lightning's cracking behind it. I'm like, I'm like, wow, I'm literally gonna stay in like a haunted mansion by myself in this thunderstorm. This is like the way every movie starts.
Yeah, you're literally making a music video right now in my head. Like,
it really was. And so the instructions were to go around to the side, and there's a kitchen. So I entered the code, and I got into the kitchen. And literally, like, it's this big 3-story mansion with this spiral staircase, huge winding staircase going up, and this raging thunderstorm with lightning crashing outside. I'm like, this is how every scary movie starts. And I go into the dining room, and there's all the whiskeys laid out already. There's a huge fireplace, and like these paintings, and I'm like, it's like the Haunted Mansion from Disneyland or something. It was it's funny because the next day, like, you wake up and like the sun's shining, and like it doesn't look, but it was a little intimidating coming into that place in the middle of the night, which was funny. And then the next day, Drew and I sat down. We had 30 different expressions of a low rye and a high rye whiskey, and different ages, and we just sat down and just started working. We just started nosing, tasting, and we really found our palates were very similar. That we had pulled very similar whiskeys from working kind of independently. We really pulled all of these samples out, and then we narrowed it down between each other. Fairly, we realized we had a very similar palate. We just narrowed it down to the whiskeys we felt that were going to make a great profile. I came up with the cask finish for a Madeira cask finish because I felt like the high rye, that really kind of earthy, those earthy notes of the rye needed a really nice balance of sweetness of some Madeira was just always in my head with that one. And then after that, we went and celebrated with the dram of the whiskey we had made. A couple of drams. We actually made a bottle of it. And then we celebrated with a cigar and sipping on the whiskey we'd made that day. So it was
awesome.
Like those are the kind of days that are just like, like you're epic. Like, this is my job.
Yeah.
I love, where my life has kind of come to this, like getting to be able to create amazing works of liquid art, basically, with people that I respect in my community and really enjoy working with. So it was a lot of fun.
I feel that craft, that conviction behind it for sure.
Yeah.
And it is so inherently will it rye.
I love it.
It is so just at its core will it rye, and it is an incredibly well-balanced rye. I mean, just I could spend so much time with this, but also
I have a whole nother bottle.
There you go.
All right, I'll be right there. I'll be right there.
There we go. Yeah,
let's go.
Hop on the next plane. Yeah. We've got a guest bed for you too.
I could set something up in my basement that's like a haunted house if you just wanted. If you wanted to do that,
relive the whole experience. Yeah. That would be.
Don't go this way. Don't look this guy in the eye. Just keep walking.
I got to tell you, it's so much fun. When you say inherently Willett, I mean, it really. I'm a huge fan of Willett. When we came up with the idea and the concept, like, where do you want to start? And I was like, I want to start at the top of Mount Everest. I want to start at Willett. I'm such a huge Willett whiskey fan and everything that they've done. And I think it was just fun to be able to to create and just start there, because everything else is it's a tapestry of art. I keep saying art, but that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, no,
drinkable art right here. I mean, just so good.
Before we move on to the Wes Henderson collab, as we were talking about all this, it got me wondering: was there ever a conversation about a special Blackened release with the Blacklist that came out?
Yeah, we did a special box package, I think, with that. We honestly, that was such a top secret project that they were working on that we didn't really get a peek behind that curtain until it was too late to really plan for it.
Sure.
The first time I got to hear, and you're referring to the Blacklist where they played, where they had different musicians from all over the world.
Yes.
Playing their favorite songs from the Black Album. And excuse me, I was up at James Hetfield's house. We were sitting on his back porch smoking cigars, and he was so excited about it. He pulled out his phone. He's like, "Hey, you got to hear this!" And he played the Miley Cyrus, Elton John, and Yo-Yo Ma collaboration of Nothing Else Matters.
Yeah.
And he's like, listen to this. And he was like, I'm getting goosebumps. He was like, showing me his arm, and I'm like, I'm getting goosebumps. This is like, it was just it was so cool. And to see how excited James was over it, after all these years of making music and still being excited about working with other people and seeing what they can do. He's like, I never would have thought to approach the song this way, or, to do this kind of version. And I think to me, that's impressive, and it's inspiring in the sense of just seeing how excited that he is about the world that he has helped create in music. That same kind of inspiration I feel in the whiskey community.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. So we didn't get to do a Blacklist. We did a special box release with that. One release that we did do, which was, honestly, one of the pinnacle moments of my life, I think, when we did Batch 100, the Blackened whiskey Batch 100, we did a 2 vinyl record box set release for Batch 100, and the band had reached out to me to select the songs. They told me to pick 12 songs, and I sent those songs to Lars, and Lars was going to curate it down to 6 songs. And we initially the idea was just to release a 1 record box set, but Lars liked every single one of the songs I had selected so much. He's like, we're releasing a 2 record. It's going to be a 2 record box set, which I was like, what? That's awesome. And I picked some live versions, and so I was able to not only select the songs but dedicate them to different people in my life. To my fellow veterans that I served in Somalia with and in the Army.
Oh my gosh.
I was able to dedicate that to them, to my metalhead friends in high school. So it was for me a pinnacle of my career, and I got to kind of make a record with Metallica. So,
that's amazing.
I mean, like not to shortchange what you did, but it's like creating the ultimate Metallica Spotify playlist that is then approved by Metallica themselves. And just, I don't like, my brain is short circuiting a little bit thinking about how cool that would be
Yeah.
It was, I was blown away. I still am. I still am like so humbled by the experience, and also just, I was so excited about it. I mean, I dove deep, I was selecting songs, Metallica, Mexico City, 1989, where James Hetfield's coming in with like some flamenco guitar, and then, right into, it was really pretty extraordinary, and we used that playlist. We used the playlist I selected to sonically enhance the batch 100. So not only did we, that playlist, you could download it on Spotify, but if you got the vinyl record, and I'm a huge vinyl, I've got like probably 2,500 records. And I love vinyl. I love music.
Yeah.
So for me, it was like such a culmination and epitome of, and they were picture discs too. So it's like on one side, there's pictures of the band and Dave Picker on one, and then on another one's me with the band. I was like, what is my life right now? It's awesome. As a music fan, as a Metallica fan, as a whiskey fan, I really feel like that was a very pinnacle moment in my career for sure.
That's awesome.
I feel like I just got told somebody's like first date story.
Yeah. It's like your first kiss with Metallica. Right?
Yeah.
It's just like, what?
I don't know.
I just like that you actually dove in there and like, because it's like if you get that task of picking those songs, you can't be lame and just be like, Inner Sandman, here we go. But you gotta you gotta go in there and you gotta let them know that you're a fan. You gotta pick the stuff that like people may not know, or like stuff that's like they're gonna be like, oh yeah, So that's awesome. Yeah, that's a great story. I love that.
Yeah, Lars even mentioned that. He's like, oh, he's not a. He obviously knows our playlist. Like one of the songs I picked was Whiplash, and I was like, this is dedicated to everyone who has like pounded the dash of their car while they're listening to metal as they're driving down way too fast down the highway. It's stuff like that, because we've all been there. This is the community of the world is our connection to music, our connection to people, I felt very, like I said, honored and humbled to be able to get to experience and do that.
Being able to be part, and I mean, you already were being the guy who basically crafts this whiskey, but being able to be a part of a band that is so well regarded and so well renowned as Metallica, to be a part of like that kind of musical history of them. I mean, that is so cool. That's so special that you were able to participate in that. And again, have the approval of the band members as well.
It's still like mind blowing to me. Like I'm still ecstatic about it. And I think I always will be. It's just, I agree, man. It's a huge honor.
I got emotional a little bit. I feel like, Let's talk about this Wes Henderson collaboration, and then we're gonna get you out of here, Rob. This is a 116.2 proof Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey finished in white port wine casks. You all approached Wes, as you said initially. Yeah. What ideas did he bring to the table that he kind of wanted to see at the end of this collaboration as well?
What's interesting about this collaboration is that everything, I've been very, I've taken up the mantle where Dave left off. I've made some tweaks to Blackened flagship. As you evolve, like every blend is always going to change a little bit, and I've endeavored to make it even better, which I know Dave would have been doing. This particular collaboration, this is a project of passion and again the fellowship of the community that Dave was a part of. Dave was one of Wes Henderson's best friends, and one of the projects that Dave left unfinished was he wanted to do a Kentucky straight bourbon cask finished in white port. And so the idea was to finish Dave's project. And that was the whole point was, that's why I went to Wes is like, look, we we want to finish Dave's project. This was his last project that he was working on. He didn't get to finish it. Let's finish it. This is an honor and a nod to Dave, his legacy. It's also continuing that connection and connectivity. And of course, when Wes and I sat down, we made it our own way. We
Sure.
we're both nosing, we're both tasting, and we're finding our balance and levels of what we wanted to do with it. But this was a community connection to honoring Dave's legacy and finishing the project that he did not get to finish, and that I think was really important. I just once the idea was there was no not doing it. We had to do it. And once I told Wes the idea, he was like, yeah. I mean, it was like an immediate yes. He wanted to be a part of it, and we're both proud and honored to be able to do that, and so and finish Dave's project and to also do what we do best, and making whiskey together and having some fun and connecting. So I was just talking to Wes yesterday, about those bottles are hitting the shelf here very soon. I was and I was just talking to him about it yesterday, and how excited we both are to do it, to work together on this project, and also to this is a kind of we're finishing that last project.
It's rich, it's spicy, it's very fresh, I would say too.
Oh, yeah.
in terms of what you can kind of expect from products on the bourbon market today. Such an interesting iteration too of Blackened. I mean, I find those little nooks and crannies where you can still kind of see that it's from the same company.
Right.
But it is its own whiskey, its own bourbon. It stands on its own
beast for sure.
Yeah. Absolutely.
On the nose, it's got this like sweet, like just classic bourbon, but then when you take a drink and on the palate, like there's like so many layers to it. You know what I mean? Like, and going from the Willet, the rye to this, it's just like, it's so awesome that two completely different projects, but you still can feel like the similarities in both of how they're made, I guess you would say. Not necessarily, they're different things, but I don't know. It's really good. Like, I don't even know.
I'm glad you enjoy it for one. And, it was fun too, is that I think you're always surprised to see who's a Metallica fan. And Wes is definitely a Metallica fan as well. And we both selected the playlist for the sonic enhancement of the whiskey during the cask finishing. And because I'd had the opportunity to be able to select playlists prior to that, I gave Wes first crack at it. I'm like, you have the entire discography of Metallica. You select the first the first first 6 songs, and I'll select what you don't select. I will dive deep and select songs that will balance that out.
Right.
So I know it was fun for him to be able to just have like the entire discography of Metallica to sift through and dig and then his reasons behind the songs that he selected. It was really cool. It was really fun to be able to work with him on not only the whiskey, but geek out on our mutual love of Metallica at the same time, and have fun with it. And at the same time, when we finished making when we were sitting there, and when we finally got to narrow down, and we're like, oh my God, this is it. This is the version right here. I raised a glass and I was like, to Dave, and we did a toast to Dave right there on the spot, and it was a cool moment.
Every story is just emotional here. Like, I mean, this is just like
to Dave, man,
to Dave. Yeah,
that's
for real. Finishing this project for him, like that's just. I mean, it tastes great, but like to me, when there's a story behind it too, it's like it makes it so much better because drinking this and hearing the story, and then if I get a bottle, like cracking it open with somebody and being like, listen, I heard the story of how this was made, why this was made, like the passion in it, like it's just awesome. It's just awesome.
I think that's as good a place as any to end things out too. But Rob, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for sitting down with us and chatting about just just you, man. I mean, that just the whiskey.
I love Rob, man. He's like he hits on Disney. I love Disney. I'm a Disney fan. He talked about Disney. He's a Willett fan. I'm a big Willett fanboy. He loves horror movies. Obviously, he's talking about that. I looked at his Instagram and he cosplayed as Wolverine one year. Like he's Wolverine.
Rob, man.
This dude, I love Rob. I love Rob.
Look, next time you're in Lexington, we'll get together. We need to sit down.
I've got one question I want to ask Rob.
Oh, okay. I know.
Yeah. Hit me.
So I was asking bands at Louder Than Life this when we were interviewing them, and I love snacks and candies with my bourbon and whiskey and all that. Like
snack cakes,
desserts, and all this stuff. So I want to know, what's your favorite snack cake, or like when you're on the road traveling, what's like your go-to snack that you're just like, I gotta have that snack? And then do you pair like, you like pairing whiskey with sweets or anything like that?
My favorite snack on the road is whiskey.
I'll take it. Same.
End of conversation.
There, perfect.
Absolutely perfect. There you go, man. Well, Rob, thank you so much.
I pair my whiskey with whiskey.
There we go. Okay. And Metallica.
Absolutely perfect. Rob, thank you so much, man. This has been a treat.
Thanks, Jen. It's such a pleasure to talk with both of you, and I hope to share a dram with you someday soon.
Sooner rather than later, I sure hope.
That'll be great.
Yeah.
Cheers, buddy. Thank you again.
All right, gents. Have a good one.
You too.
Take care.
What are we doing?
We're back. We're back, baby. We're fucking back.
We're back. Yeah. We're doing this review now. Yeah.
Rob left.
Oh, Rob's been gone for a while.
He had to go eat some donuts.
We had to take some time to ourselves as well. Some self-reflection. Did you ever pour it? You never had any of that Old Fitz?
No, because I got to review this. I'll talk about watching you struggle when you were trying to put the cork back into that thing.
Look at how messed up it is.
Yeah, it's all over the place.
You hold it and look at it. It's like, it's very jagged, I would say. It's a jagged
little pill. Isn't it ironic? Don't you think?
It's like rain.
On your wedding day.
It's a green light. Or a red light. When you're already late.
It's a free ride.
When you've already paid.
Yeah. But who would have thought?
It figured.
Life has a funny way.
This isn't the first time we've referenced this song.
No.
I want to save the rest.
I just poured it out.
Just on all the equipment.
Here's the computer, baby. Pour it out.
No, I wanted to save the rest of it for my dad.
Okay.
To try. He's a big Metallica fan.
Caught it.
See?
Yeah, I know. I was making fun of you for not getting the cork in, but there we go. Yeah, he's gonna love this.
Yeah, and the story behind it and everything too. I mean, I'll probably just wind up giving him the third. So we didn't talk about this, but we got 3 individual sample bottles of, and I guess it's really just their normal airplane bottles of the normal
best
Blackened
airplane bottles. These are sweet.
They're so cool. They are on par with the Willett.
Yeah.
The rye airplane bottles.
And this is
by the way, we haven't talked about this. And I had this scoop like a month ago and I didn't even talk about it. But Wilderness Trail is putting out a sample bottle, airplane bottle collection, the 50 mils.
In their shape bottles?
In their shape of bottles.
Cool.
And they're calling it Trail Mix.
Oh, my God.
You buy a box, and it's the 2 bourbons and the rye.
Wow. Trail Mix?
Yeah. It was all Haley's idea, too. You can go find out more about it on Haley's Instagram. Hazy Pesos.
If only they knew somebody that just paired candy and stuff with bourbon.
If only.
If only.
Well, she doesn't even really know that you're a part of this podcast.
Yeah, I know. Macaulay does. He's busy. He's doing stuff.
Yeah, he's busy posing as a... I don't want to get into it.
He's a magician. Oh, my God.
I love the nose on this.
So this is the Blackened...
The Wes Henderson
collab. Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey, finished in white port wine cask at 58.1% alcohol, 116.2 proof. Like I said, I was telling Rob, it's just so sweet. It's like strawberry on the nose. And he said that's from the port wine casks.
Honestly, at least on the nose, it pairs really well with the Bourbon County Stout.
Don't make me pour this over into the.
I'm not telling you to do that. I'm
when
at
somebody
least telling
says
you
paired, I would just automatic I'm just like
you have a like
pour over. I'm like
It's an involuntary reaction. Yeah. But at least like smell the two of them together.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's like if you put like a little like strawberry jelly in with like some peanut butter or something, like a strawberry peanut butter and jelly. Man, this collab is legit.
They killed it.
It's
man.
really good.
Yeah.
Like no joke. Like I know we just did the interview. I know the story behind it is amazing, but 100% like this is legit. It almost smells like it reminds me of like an older wheated bourbon. Like that strawberry, like that sweet strawberry note on the nose. It reminds me of like some old like Heaven Hill or Buffalo Trace like wheated bourbon. Like it smells so good. Whiskey Advocate.
Dang. The MSRP is $100.
Oh, I'd pay that. I thought it'd be more.
Dude,
Whiskey Advocate, though.
I mean, this is a like even before getting into the intricacies of it all, this is a buy for me.
I want a bottle of this for sure. I plan on trying to get one of these. So good.
I mean, I will. Man, Whiskey Advocate has like redesigned their website too.
Good for them.
Boy, we haven't even talked about the Kentucky Owl stuff that.
Good for Whiskey Advocate.
Came out this week.
I can't wait till their next Instagram post.
Well, this is not. Okay.
Can't wait till they do their pairing magazine again.
Oh my gosh. So much good bourbon that's coming out. All right. Bourbon that I hope is good.
Well, this is good.
This is phenomenal. For $100 a bottle. And again, like the fact that they went through the extra measures to finish this and craft it in the way that they did, it is evident.
This may make my top 10.
There is a good chance of it, for sure.
The nose is phenomenal. The palate is... there's more layers on the palate. Like I had to dig deep a little bit more, but it's like the strawberry on top, but then there's like almost like a freaking like what am I trying to say here? It's like a charcoal, like a sweet rub. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like you're smoking something and it's like this rub that you put on a meat, but like the charcoal flavor and the smoke and the sweet and like caramelized and stuff like that.
100%.
Yeah. Wow. The finish is really good too.
I actually think the finish might be my least favorite part. I think it goes a little bit flat and a little bit short.
116.2 proof.
It doesn't drink like it.
No.
I mean, this is dangerous.
Yeah, real dangerous.
At the very least.
Especially on the nose. Like I'm saying, like I smell this and I'm just like chugging it. Like,
well, in our review system of nose, palate, finish, and price, where every category is out of 5 and we give a final score out of 20, what would you actually give the nose?
The nose, 4.
I'm going to give it a 3.5. I didn't say words throughout that sentence aside from 3.5. I'm going to give it a 3.5. No, I'm going to give it a 3.5.
Yeah, I'm going to 4. Like it reminds me of a older wheated bourbon that I just love the nose on it.
See, the palate is where this really, really shines through for me.
I mean, it is so much, so many flavors in this.
It's a 4.
I'm going to go a 4 again. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Finish is the weakest part for me. 2.5.
Yeah.
2.
I'll say a 3.
Okay.
I mean, I like the finish, but like you said, it falls a little bit short. I get some extra, like maybe vanilla whipped cream notes in there.
Did you hear that?
What was that?
I don't know. It sounded like a truck was coming through our neighborhood. I don't even know if that picked up on the microphones. That was just strange.
But yeah, 3. I get some notes, but it does fall flat. Like,
yeah.
I like that I get some extra stuff, but it doesn't last very long.
See, I don't even really get extra stuff. I just get a continuation of the flavor, but then it's just kind of over.
Yeah,
for me.
No, I get it.
So yeah, I'm going to give it a 2 on the finish. I really actually like the price being at $100.
Oh, I'm fine with that.
And I think that part of that comes from the fact that over the past few years, our expectations of what a limited edition bourbon, a limited edition whiskey is, or what it should be priced at, that has changed so much for us.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And my inclination at $100 is to go, that is like, for the layman, the kind of ceiling for what they are willing to pay for something that they wouldn't be able to get on a normal basis.
Yeah.
Right? That is a splurge bottle.
Yeah.
That is something special that they want to pick up, share with somebody else, and say, hopefully, I really like this and I want you to like this as well.
Yeah.
So honestly, like in this day and age, at $100, it's like a 4.5 for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. I give it a 3.5. I mean, I think it's above an average pricing.
Yeah.
Like, I think I'm okay with 3.5. Like, I think when you hit 100, you got to start really thinking about it. I think it's worth it. I mean, there's obviously if it was $80, it would be better. Well, whatever. But I gave it a 3.5. I think it's better than an average limited edition pricing.
I think overall that gets me at a 13.5.
I had a 14.5.
Maybe I'm at 14. I can't remember.
It's a buy.
Oh, no, it's definitely a buy for me.
I will buy a bottle of this if I see this at $100.
I think that you should too. And it's so different. It's such a unique of its own self beast of a whiskey.
And it is cool that like this batch has its own playlist that they picked.
I think that's amazing, man.
Yeah. Whether you're a fan of Metallica or not, like just the fact that like
the ultimate match this song to the whiskey challenge.
Yeah.
But it's a whole playlist.
Yeah.
Worth.
Yeah, a whole playlist.
That'd be crazy.
What would you think? What would you if a band approached Jimmy Russell? What band would go with Jimmy Russell and said, "Oh, we're going to do a Wild Turkey Blackened style thing"? What band would Jimmy Russell pick, or give his graces?
Well,
to?
he's not alive anymore.
But Jimmy is he's alive.
Just give me a second.
The mom's alive, right?
He's not alive anymore, but I feel like Merle Haggard.
Okay.
Kind of like more like classic country, but still, kind of modern sensibilities. Kind of artist would fall into that. I don't know. I think the first line of defense would actually be whoever comes up to Matthew McConaughey and says, we want to do some kind of musical partnership with Wild Turkey.
I could see Jimmy and Mushroom Head.
See, I was thinking like Jason Isbell from Drive By Truckers.
No.
Okay. Well, this is where our musical conversation, I feel like, kind of breaks down a little bit because we don't know. Yeah.
Jimmy and Mushroom Head.
I don't know Mushroom Head. Yeah. What about... What about just Brooks and Dunn?
No.
Tim McGraw.
Okay, I can get behind Tim McGraw.
What? You think
any boy in the world, but please,
you think
don't take the girl.
I would love to hear Jimmy sing Chattahoochee.
Wait, no, the Cherokee song by Tim McGraw.
Oh my gosh. No, we need to move on. We really need to move on from this part of the conversation.
What? Next week's news, Tim McGraw launches bourbon with Jimmy Russell.
Who was it that... Never mind. This is a dumb bit of the podcast. Let's move on, shall we?
A bit? This is legit.
Too legit to bit.
Too legit to bit.
That's a serious conversation series where we don't joke about anything because it's way too personal or way too serious.
Can't make jokes anymore, apparently.
Comedy's dead. You can't say anything.
Can't say anything. You got a knife right now. I'm dead.
This is the worst episode we've ever done.
What? It's amazing.
No, it's really
Rob
great,
was
actually.
so good. Best part of the podcast.
Do you have any high proof hot takes?
Yeah, Charlie Brown. Lame.
Came out hot there.
It's lame, Charlie Brown.
Why do you think Charlie Brown's lame?
Because he is. Snoopy is the
Okay, are you talking about like Charlie Brown
the character
as a no? Hold on, Charlie Brown as a means to represent the Peanuts.
Not like
Because I don't like the Peanuts as a whole.
No, they're good.
Is amazing.
Charlie Brown himself is lame.
I don't think,
but they put his name on
fault.
it. They put his name on it.
Okay.
Charlie Brown and the pumpkin. Charlie Brown's Thanksgiving. Whatever. He is so annoying. He's like Caillou's annoying uncle. You know what I mean? Like, he's just, I feel sorry for Charlie Brown or whatever. Like, just show me more freaking Joe Cool. Freaking Joe Cool Snoopy. Show me more Linus. Charlie Brown himself is lame, and they should not put Charlie Brown on the name.
Even though I wasn't a security blanket kid, I'm the oldest of my family. My little brother was the security blanket kid. My grandfather called me Linus and my little brother Rerun, which is his and Lucy's youngest brother.
Yeah.
Which, as I've gotten older, it's made me laugh more. But
yeah, Charlie Brown, lame. Take the name Charlie Brown off of the specials. Call it Snoopy's pumpkin. I don't care. He's lame. He's lame. Worst Halloween costume ever.
Okay.
I mean, that's my high proof hot take. Charlie Brown, lame. Everybody else?
Charlie Brown, shut up.
Cool. I like everybody else. Freaking little stupid shirt. Put some different clothes on every once in a while.
Well, I don't have any high proof hot takes this week, so let's move on to tips and bits, please.
Your kid didn't even want to watch Charlie Brown.
my kid didn't even want to watch the thing that I was going to recommend this week because she is a child and she doesn't have emotional intelligence in the way that we as adults child.
Do. I agree with everything she thinks of.
Well, I'm going to recommend a couple of things.
Okay.
I'm going to recommend for those of us who are newer parents and trying to find things that we can watch along with our kids. The TV show Bluey, which is originally Australian created. I know the meme is alive and well. Incredible. Season 2 episode Sleepy Time is some of the best TV that you will ever see, especially as a newer parent.
Is the mom alive?
The mom is alive.
Okay. Just check it.
Nobody's dead.
Okay, yeah, just making sure.
Nobody is dead. Like I don't.
Most media with dog families.
That's fair.
Somebody
that is totally fair. But on brand with everything else that we have talked about and done within this episode, Rob brought up listening to the Miley Cyrus "Nothing Else Matters" version.
Yeah, with Metallica.
With James. But the Chris Stapleton version is in heavy rotation in my playlists and my recently played music of Nothing Else Matters. It's so good, man. I would play it, but then I would have to pay royalties or
how much you think you'd have to pay? A lot. Thousands.
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
I would say so. I'll play it for you when we're done.
Okay.
So you can hear it.
I'll tell you all about it next week.
Yeah. Tips and bits.
Eric. Tips and bits. If you aren't watching Andor, you're messing up. We are on episode 11 of the 12-episode season. Every episode has gotten better. It's so good. Can't even talk about it because I know Perry's not there yet.
I'm 2 episodes in. I know, and I really like it so far.
It just keeps getting better. Andor, you have to watch it. If you want, since we're in, hopefully you've already started prepping your turkey, but if you haven't, you can go to watch some videos on Hardcore Carnivores Instagram and their YouTube.
We got a message in our family group me this morning from my dad that said, "Good morning. Just wanted to let everybody know that the turkey has begun the thawing process."
Yeah, exactly. I put mine out to thaw too.
Did you really?
Yeah, it's time.
There you go.
And I'm going to brine it for about 24 hours before, so I got to get it thawed out for a couple of days.
I feel like if you're going to go for the long brine, you may as well go for like 3 days.
But I have a different brining process.
Okay.
24 hours.
Okay.
It's a whole bag. It's a spiced up thing. Anyway.
It always has to be a whole bag.
Yeah. You never can go half bag.
You never go half bag.
No. You got a whole bag.
Yeah.
What
are we talking about?
Hardcore Carnivore on YouTube. Malcolm Reed on YouTube. And Meat Church on YouTube. All those brands, those cooks, those smokers, whatever you want to say, watch them. Turkeys, pork, anything. Like
also go follow all of them individually on OnlyFans.
No, they don't have OnlyFans. No, they don't do that. See where this guy's mind is. Yeah, Meat Church.
Oh, come on.
Meat Church.
That's
Hardcore Carnivore. Malcolm Reed. You think they would have OnlyFans? Come on, just think about that. Listen to yourself right now. I think I'm the one that has to be edited. This guy over here. But no, like those three are some of the. I watch their videos on YouTube and Instagram. And I've learned a lot about smoking and grilling and stuff like that. So I'm recommending those 3 companies, channels to watch if you want to, and they do turkeys too. So if you're just now figuring out what to do with your turkey, you may have fucked up.
Well,
but there's always next year.
There we are.
There's always next year.
Godspeed. I think we should put out some bonus content this week.
Oh, you think so?
Well, we're pretty early on in our recording schedule.
Are you tips and bits
today?
Bonus content?
Yeah, we got some bonus content that's going to be coming out this week.
Bonus content.
They're going to find out in a couple of days.
When am I going to find out?
After I hit stop on the record button.
Okay.
Thank you all so much for watching and listening and enjoying the show. If you have not yet, please subscribe, hit the like button, do all the things that make sure that you are able to keep up with the show and its weekly schedule, I guess. Yeah, but I mean,
it's always on schedule.
Yeah. Oh no, it always definitely comes out on Wednesdays.
Yeah.
But usually at 3 a.m. Eastern. But
if they want to get it early,
yes,
you know what they do? We go to the patreon.com/mybourbonpodcast.
You didn't even let me finish.
For as little as $1 a month.
One.
You can get all the early stuff. One.
Nothing,
Metallica. One.
It hit me right then that you are taking advantage of being on the same side of the table as me so that you can do everything like in my face.
One.
Yeah. We definitely don't have a big brother, little brother dynamic.
And at $5 a month, you can get all the bonus content. Pours from the Floor, Samply Irresistible, which is on episode 2 of the new season. And then uncut episodes that you're listening to right now. If you want to know what we say off the air, or if you want to know what Perry had to edit out, go to patreon.com. Subscribe. $5. Get you in there. If you want to send us an email, this is mybourbonshop@gmail.com. You can send an email if you want to ask us a question, you want to send us a sample, ask us to review or pair something, send it there. If you want to get some merch, bourbonshop.threadless.com. Perry's got some new stuff putting up there. Got some holiday designs, right?
Soon, yes.
Okay.
If not right now, then within the next couple of days.
There you go. If you want to get some Whiskey Mutant merch, it's whiskeymutant.myshopify.com. Use WM25 for 25% off. I'm trying to get rid of all the stuff I got so I can get new stuff. So go buy something. I'll send you some stuff. I'll put your sticker in there. If you want to leave a message for us on the Barrel Ring segment, 859-428-8253. You leave a message. We play it on here. You're on the podcast. And then we talk to you, not in real time, but you're on there. So you can literally tell your friends, I was on a podcast. You're the third host for that day. Or if Swan's here, you're the fourth host. So do that. If you want to follow us on all social media, it's at MyBourbonPod. Instagram. Maybe not Twitter. I don't know. I don't know if Twitter's even around right now.
Yeah. My brain just had to do like a reset to understand what you were talking about there for a second.
But yeah,
I don't know what I'm gonna. I genuinely do not know what I'm gonna do without Twitter. Like not a like, because I use it for like news headlines and like I have a humorous side of things too that I rely upon with Twitter. So
Perry's a little spicy on Twitter, apparently.
I'm not.
Oh.
No, like I don't. Never. Okay.
At My Bourbon Pod on all the stuff. We have a Facebook group. This is My Bourbon Podcast Facebook group. You can follow me at Whiskey Mutant on Instagram and TikTok. I do have a Twitter. I don't ever check it. So if you send me a message on Twitter, I probably didn't get it.
He's never gonna check it. I've got a pretty good. It's scathing. Tweet on my personal.
You get canceled?
Twitter. PRitter1792.
Yeah, at PRitter1792 if you want to get all of his personal stuff.
Yeah, but it's...
Go into his DMs. He'll tell you where he lives.
It's about A-list celebrities doing podcasts.
Okay. Who is it?
No, it's just...
Who's in your mind when you think about it? Like, they should just stop.
Honestly...
I know somebody's got to pop up in your mind.
I think when I first drafted this tweet, it was about the Office ladies.
Oh, April's gonna be mad. She loves the podcast.
Well, here's the thing.
Tell her that too.
Okay.
So when we all hang out, she's gonna be mad.
There, I just tweeted it, so you can go. Check it out. If it that
Twitter
might
has
be
been deleted.
That might be my very last tweet. Eric's reading it right now, just to give you an update. Do you know what I mean, though?
I get it.
Like
I get it.
Anyway, go check it out.
Check out the Blue Podcast, apparently.
No, that is completely different. I'm talking about people who like anybody who has been in the spotlight consistently in like the public conscience.
Yeah.
Like they started podcasts and they're like, I don't want to get into it. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
You got to check out the YouTube.
Oh, yeah. Check out the YouTube channel, youtube.com/This Is My Bourbon Podcast.
Give us a review as well.
Yeah. If you're feeling thankful this week.
Yeah.
And you want to show thanks.
That's what I want for Thanksgiving. I want a review.
Leave us a review, please. That would be a great way to show us that you are not only listening, but that you care and that you want this show to shoot up in the charts.
Yeah. Tell Mama all about it, too.
And be successful. Please do.
Yep.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Yes. I hope you enjoy some turkey. I hope you enjoy some wild turkey. Do some pairings. Tag us. If you do a pairing, tag us in it. Tag me, Whiskey Mutant. Tag Perry Peter to 1792. Tag the podcast.
My
Bourbon Pod. We should do a hashtag right now.
Ooh, hashtag My Bourbon Thanksgiving.
This is my Bourbon Thanksgiving.
There we go. This is my Bourbon Thanksgiving.
Hashtag This is my Bourbon Thanksgiving. Show us what you're pairing and drinking on Thanksgiving.
And we will check it out and read it out on next week's episode.
And we'll put it on. I'll reshare you.
Sure. We'll put it on
I'll share you.
We'll put it on a t-shirt.
The best post gets printed on a t-shirt. One of one. We'll wear it. We'll make two and we'll wear it on the show.
I've got an idea for this. Anyway.
Okay. There you go. Get to work.
We'll see you guys next week. Until then, I'm Perry.
I'm Eric.
And this is my Bourbon Podcast.